Greetings, Patrick here. 8 questions with, and as you can see, we are alive at 2 o'clock. So that should tell you right away that we are in Europe for this interview, um, and glad to be so. Uh, Today we'll be talking with Italian filmmaker, a very young Italian filmmaker, Francisco Saia, and he will be here in about 15 minutes or so. Francisco is I yeah, he's like a little bit of a prodigy. He's only 26 years old, and he's already got 18 projects that have already been completed. I think he's actually working on some other ones as well. Yeah, so actually, he's going to have 19 films completed probably by the end of next year. That's a lot for someone who's only 26. He started really early. He actually started when he was um, out of high school. Came out of high school and immediately went to started directing films. And so super excited to talk to him. This will be his first time he's doing a show like ours, though I'm sure he's not his first press. That's for sure. His first press is not going to be us. He is, like I said, he's very prolific. And Hey, what's going? Oh boy, we got company already. Oh, this is awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, what's going on, Gizmo? Thanks. Hi, Mika and Kira are here. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun show today. Um, this is I think this is only my second time I've interviewed an Italian filmmaker or in the industry. I interviewed one actress, Iva, and this will be my second time interviewing an Italian film. Well, actually, take that back. Well, he transplanted to Germany, but he did was originally from Italy, and it was actually another Francisco. But this is one that I'm going to be interviewing today. This is the first full time Italian filmmaker that I have talked to. Oh, thank you so much. Teleworking, but we have your video up. Yes, thank you so much for that. And again, when you watch these shows, for the replay folks, when you watch these shows, you don't have to watch them. You can just listen to them as a podcast. That's basically what they are. It's a podcast, and you don't have to watch it in order to enjoy it. You can listen to it just like a regular podcast. I guess this is what they call a visual podcast, one that you can watch versus one that you can only hear. Um, very excited for today. I'm really am. I think it's going to be a lot of fun talking to Francisco. And again, surprisingly and shockingly so, he just knocked on the door. So how good of a timing is that? That's a perfect segue, right? All right, the door has rang, and you know what that means? That when the doorbell rings here, we don't ever keep anybody waiting. So we're gonna go get Francisco, and we're gonna start this thing off just a little bit early, but that's all right because I think we'll have plenty to talk about. So thank you for being here, and feel free to share us out, and away we go.
Hi, Patrick. Hi, Michigan. How are
Hey,
you?
good, good. How are you, Francisco?
Can you hear me? Good, good.
Yeah. Can you hear me? All
Yes,
right.
yes, I can hear you.
Very excited to have you on the show today. Actually when I asked you yesterday, when I asked you had you ever done this before, um, I really I really thought that was sort of like a stupid question because I'm going like, of course he's done this before because he's done a lot of movies. I'm sure he gets a lot of press. So I was really surprised when I said, "Have you ever done this type of interview before?" And he said, "No." So once again, we get you first, and I'm really happy about that. To tell you the truth, um, so welcome to 8 Questions with, and yeah, I'm super impressed with your body of work. The word I used to describe you was prolific. You've been doing this a long. You're a very young man, but you've been doing this for a long time, haven't you?
Yes, yes. I'm 26 years old. and I started to shot to become a director very young. I started my career at 15 years old. I started directing and shooting amateurs short films in the high school and with friends. And after the studies in the high school, I started to study in a professional film school in Italy, in Genoa, north of Italy, and I worked in a lot of aspects of professional figures of filmmaking, like assistant director, first assistant director, camera operator. And at this moment, I've directed 12 short films and three features films. And I'm a director and a screenwriter. I also write several script and several script book. In this moment, a company of Hollywood, DCM Publishing, published two of my new books. One is The Competition, a drama script book, and the other is 31 October, a thriller horror script book written in Italian and in English language.
31 October. That's the one I noticed the most. I noticed that film right off the bat. That's actually the film that I use to tell people what some of the work that you've done. I always put a movie that they worked on, too, if I have the space, in there, and one of them, it was 31 October. But before I really get to that, and it's already shown. You already showed like exactly like you're started when you're 15 years old. Most people don't even know what they're doing at 15 years old. I mean, they don't even know what they're doing. They're starting, they're thinking about prom dances or something like that. But here you are, you're 15 years old and you're already in the business. I mean, a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people, and I get a lot of actors that have started out like at 12 years old, 13, 15. But directors, 15 years old? No, don't get that. So how did you get involved in movies? I mean, were you always a big fan of cinema when you were growing up?
Yes, I always I have always I had always this passion for filmmaking and for a movie since when I was a child, and I decided to believe in this dream, and I've sorry, I asked the word because I don't remember the English word.
For
Okay. And I have demonstrated that dreams can be reality.
Sure.
And yes, and I think all guys, all teenagers, if they believe in their dreams, can become directors, actor, musician in a very young young age. In fact,
what I was going to say, Francisco, what really makes you even more impressive to me is the fact that, like, I've talked to European filmmakers, and in fact, one of them is, I don't know if, hopefully he's still here. There is a filmmaker, our good friend Gizmo is here, and as far as European making films in Europe, it's very, very hard. It's very hard, and even Italy has a tremendous history, cinema history, tremendous. I mean, we could talk Italian cinema all day, but it seems like within the last 20, 30 years, that's not so much. I see a lot of people talk about Italian cinema and the Italian actors and directors, and I see the same names and faces recycled. They're repeated. There's nobody fresh coming in. Who's the new fresh Italian filmmaker coming in? Nobody knows. Well, obviously you and I, we know because we're here. But it's really cool to see someone like yourself, who's only 26 years old and working his ass off, to say, hey, Italian cinema is still alive and well and important. Do you feel that? Do you feel that on your shoulders? When you're making your films, do you feel that pressure that, I got to make this right, because I'm representing not only myself and my cast and crew, but my country? Do you feel that on your shoulders, Francisco?
Yes, I feel I feel on my shoulders because being a director is a very sense of responsibility, because you have to not direct only the actors, but you have to direct all crew, the DOP, the director of photography, the set designer, the costume designer, and when you are a director, you have to direct several people, several professional figures, and this is not so easy. And it's not so easy for a young boy like me, because people are not so, especially in Italy, people are not so accustomed to work with a young director, because it's very unusual, especially in Italy.
So when you started out at 15, who helped you? How did you get started? Was there anybody? I mean, you went to school for it. Was there a lot of people in your class? I mean, were there a lot of people learning how to make films in your class?
No, in my class, there was not a lot of people with the passion of cinema like me. They were a few people, a few classmates that helps me to follow this dream, to shoot short films. And they helped me very a lot, but unfortunately, in that group of boy in that ages in that school, I am the only person who has decided to follow this way, to become a director, unfortunately. And so in my way, I meet a lot of new people, very lot of new people that follow, that help me to become a director.
Only one person decided to go forward on what and become. And wow, that's a big problem, isn't it? I mean, that pretty much is pretty much the problem all in a nutshell. You know, it's hard to get cinema going and to make movies when there's not that many people that are actually doing it. You know, like you would think that there'd be a lot of people out there wanting to make films and to be in films, to be actors or whatnot. But but you're right. You need directors, who know how to do it. Um, that's just stunning to me. Only you did it. How big was your class? How many people were in your class when you were in school?
We were 20 about 20 people.
So
Yes, 20,
you out of 20 people.
20 people in a class. Yeah.
Man, much respect to you. Much respect for you to continue to go forward, because it's
Thank you.
important. It's important. I mean, I'm sure the people in my chat are going like, "That's amazing." It is amazing. Only one. But our friends Mika and Kira mentioned you have that passion for filmmaking, I hope, and obviously is hopefully in Italy. I hope they realize the treasure they have, because without people like yourself, all that great history of Italian cinema, it's going to slowly fade into the wind. You need fresh blood like yourself to keep it going. So how old were you? So you started at 15 years old. So
Yes.
let's talk about that, because talk about the first movie that you made. I mean, how did you did you write the movie yourself? How did you find a cast and crew? And where did you shoot the movie at?
My first feature movie or my first short movie?
Your short film was your first one, wasn't it?
Yes, because I've directed 12 short films, and the first was at the age of 15, and I've directed 3 feature films, and the first was at the age of 21 years old. Yeah.
I think your first one, Halloween. Okay, I'm gonna kill this. But Halloween La Maledizione. Okay, I'm killing it. The first movie that you did was Halloween La Maledizione.
Yes, Halloween, La maledizione degli spiriti. Yes, it was my no problem.
Would you like to hear me try? Would you like to hear me try to pronounce it again? Would you like to hear that?
It's Italian language. It's not so easy. No problem. Yes, it was one of my first short films, and it was a comedy horror film about the festivity of Halloween. And it was a very amateur film, and I've directed and played that film. There will we were in that film. We were 2 actors, me and another friend. I played the role of Dracula, and my other friend played the role of Evil. And this amateur film talks about 2 normal boys that becomes 2 monsters. One becomes Dracula, and the other one becomes Evil. I have a good funny memory about that short film. It was very amateur, but I have a good a good memory.
Uh, that's awesome. Now, you had a vampire in your movie? Now, did you also have a bat in the movie?
Sorry, I don't understand.
A bat turns into a vampire. Did
Yes,
you have? Okay. I just want to know
yes.
because I have a friend of mine who's crazy about bat movies. So I just want to tell him that it has a bat in it. Let me catch up with the chat real quick here. Okay, we do have a question here. Mika and Kira, I'm curious to know if Italian filmmakers are choosing to stay in Italy to keep the craft alive, or if they're looking to explore film options elsewhere. So that's a really good question. But I
Uh,
think I have a feeling we already know the answer to this, but we're going to find out. So let me ask you, Francisco, if you had a chance to leave Italy to make a movie or to stay in Italy and make a movie, what are you doing? Are you going to stay here in Italy and make a movie, or would you like fly to another country to do it?
yes. Um, I think Italy, except a few problems about the cinema, about the film industry. It's one of the most important country for about the filmmaking and the film industry. My goal is to stay in Italy
Yeah.
and make and carry on to make movies in my country and make big my country with my films and with the films of other directors. But in my career, I worked for several foreign companies, and I've worked in foreign countries. One time I worked as first assistant director for a British short films that it calls Say Grace, directed by Phil Hawkins, and other times I worked in France as a as a commercial director or directed some short films. And my last film, I've directed my last film, the Thief of Falling Stars. Italian name is Il ladro di stelle cadenti. I've directed this my last film in two versions in two languages, like Dracula of Todd Browning. I directed this movie in two languages. One version is in Italian, and the other version is in English language. This movie it will come in Italy and in English countries like America, Australia, United Kingdom,
So you
and yes.
so you've gone out of the country to film make. I mean, you traveled outside. You've done a British production and other productions outside of Italy. That just, again, it's like you're learning as you go. What were what's some of the big difference? What's some of the big differences between other than the language, of course, but what are some of the big differences between working at home in Italy and say working with the British production? Did they do anything different than what you do when you're at home making your movies? Do they have any techniques or camera angles or anything like that? Did they do anything different from the way you make films?
Um, yes and no. There are a few difference, but few difference about British filmmaking and Italy filmmaking. For example, the technique, the technique, camera angles, camera movement are the same because the cameras are the same in Italy and in Great Britain, like cameras like Harry, like Red Weapon, are the same. But
No, he vanished. Ah, he'll have to come back. Wow, what a great I told you guys. I told you guys this is gonna be great. Let me just tell him to come back in. Ah, wow, that's the type of filmmaker that that not only Italy needs but Europe needs as well. To keep their film industry alive and kicking and vibrant. Um, the fact that he was the only one out of 20 person class to keep going, it really speaks to his commitment to this craft.
sorry, I don't know where it happens. Maybe the
It's
connection.
okay.
I'm very.
No, you're good. You're good. If it happens again, just do what you just did. Just if it goes out, just bounce back in. We'll still be here. Uh,
Yes, the last question. Yes, yes,
can you?
I can hear.
Okay. Uh, so yeah. What are some of like I asked you the last question I asked you was what are some of the techniques that you picked up from other working like in the British production or a French production or different out of country? What are some of the techniques that they use that were different from the way you make films in Italy? Was there anything really that you picked up from other filmmakers and vice versa?
Yes, the techniques are almost the same. Uh, maybe maybe in Italy, Italian directors use a realistic style, especially Italian directors. They don't like shooting uh, in a theaters, but they like to shoot in the streets, in the reality. So like all the neorealism, like directors Vittorio De Sica, Pasolini, and maybe French or British directors prefer shooting in a studios, in a theaters. Maybe don't like the reality, the shooting in a reality.
I've seen that. It does seem like that is the case, that more and more directors are sort of resisting the studios. They do want to go outside more and shoot more on location and whatnot. I think it's their way of trying to still hold on to their control. Because now with studios, you literally can go up there and shoot against the green screen. You can make it so where you watch a movie and you think that they're acting in a house, and it's all just green screen. I mean, once and there's no studio. There's no stage or anything. It's just a with a virtual background. And I don't think directors really like that too much. I think they like getting out in the open and shooting on location. I think it's important. It's important in the storytelling. I think when you I think if you just shoot in a studio, uh, against green screen, I don't think you're challenged as an actor or as a director. I just feel like I don't know. It just doesn't feel like real filmmaking that if you depend on green screen. Um, do you like filming your films outside? I mean, if you had a chance to shoot outside or in a studio, where do you want to shoot? Where would you shoot at?
No, I am like I have a thinking like French or British directors. Because I'm Italian, but I don't like shot in open space. But I prefer to shoot in studios,
Okay.
because in studios you can make your vision. Create. You can be more creative in studios. Except, for example, my last films, my last film, my last feature film was a fantasy film. It was a bit difficult shoot this film in open space. So I asked to production company to give me a studios to create a surrealistic house, to create surrealistic situations with the green screen. But for example, in this case, for fantasy film, is good studios. But for example, for the horror movies, I think is better shooting not in a studios, but in open space, because the main goal of horror films is to create the reality, and to make fear, to make scare in people. So for some genre, it's better shooting in open spaces. But for other genre is better shooting in studios.
And Mika and Kira have mentioning what I'm thinking too. Is it's interesting to see when studios preferred. I agree. I mean, I can see both. I can see both. Actually, while I was sitting there talking, I was listening to Francisco. I was thinking about a movie called Ghost Ship, and on Ghost Ship they went down and they made this tremendous ship, and it was a set. They're built within the studio on set, and I was just thinking how amazing it looked in there. And I'm thinking that you could have, they got away with a lot more interesting aspects of it by shooting on stage versus putting your equipment all up, over a real ship, which would have been really, really labor intensive. So I guess I could see where both comes into play. And I agree with you, Francisco, that a good horror movie is better out in the open, um, because danger can come from anywhere in a horror movie. that's the thing about a horror movie is that you don't know where the danger is coming from, and you want to be surprised by it. And so I think open air, is a much better choice. Um, I was thinking maybe TV. I was thinking movies would be better off shooting outside, and TV shows would be better shooting inside. But what do I know? um, now, so studios is easier. It's easier to film in. Now, are there still studios in Italy? Are there still film studios that you can shoot at, or are they slowly going away?
Yes, no, in Italy there are a lot of studios and important studios like Cinecittà in Rome. There are several film studios in Rome, in Milan, in Genoa. Yes, it's not a problem in Italy.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Now, you shot some short films. So you started in 2014. You started doing short films. Now, what was your first what was your first? I'm taking the first movie that you did, the Halloween movie. I'm taking that's a horror movie, right?
Yes, horror movie.
Or the
Right.
or yes, I'm sorry. The first thing that you directed was on a TV series, Liguria Selection. So your very first directing job was working in TV.
Yes, I I have directed some TV show, Liguria Selection was my first TV direction. And it was a musician talent. It was a musician talent, but I don't have a good memory about that experience because I don't like so much TV. I prefer the cinema. So with the pass of the ages, I left the TV career and I started the film career that I more prefer.
You rather do
That I more prefer.
you rather do shorts and features on TV series.
Sorry, TV series and short.
You rather make your own movies. You rather make short films and feature films rather than work on TV shows. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was been really hard though to come in there and do that directing as your first. Most people's first directing jobs are or their short films or their or sometimes they'll do a feature film. To come in and do a TV show as a first job, that's a lot. Again, it's a lot of pressure. And the fact that
Yeah.
they gave you the job to do, that's very impressive. Um, what is the music or not music, but what is the movie capital of Italy? Is it Rome? Is it Milan? Where is because our friend Karma wants to know what's the big Hollywood type town in Italy? What I mean,
Uh,
what
in Italy, the capital of film industry is Rome. Rome is a very important city because it's the capital, the political capital of Italy, and is the capital of the film industry. There are a lot of studios and of film and TV studios like Cinecittà. there are a lot of film production company. There are a lot of so many directors, important directors live in Rome, like Paolo Sorrentino, Luca Guadagnino, there are some American actors and directors that lives in Rome and works in Rome. For example, Willem Dafoe since 10 years lives in Rome and works in Italian film industry.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard that. I heard that there have been a bit of an exodus. I know. I think I know. I think I know that Jeff Goldblum is now living in Rome now as well. I think he moved down there too. I think a lot of actors are moving toward Italy right now, and that can only benefit everybody. I love the way that you said that there's important Italian directors. I don't know if I'm going to ask this open to and people in the chat can answer this too. There's a lot of cinephiles in the chat. And yes, this is my ignorance showing, and I apologize for it. But talk to us a little bit more about some of the other directors that are working along with you, some of your peers, some of your coworkers. Tell us about some of the Italian directors, and like you mentioned, important names. What are their names, and are they leading a renaissance? Do you feel like Italian film is having a renaissance at this time?
Renaissance?
A comeback, a revival.
Okay. Revival of Renaissance in Italy. I don't know. I don't know at this moment. Renaissance.
A rebirth. Like now. Before there wasn't a lot of movies coming out of Italy, but now today, all of a sudden there's a lot of movies coming out, and that's good, right? I mean, do you feel like there are a lot of movies being made in Italy today? Are there a lot coming out, or could there be more? I mean, is it busy?
Yes, it's very busy.
Okay.
Very busy.
Okay, good. That's really what I'm saying. I still really wanted to know. It's like it's because before some of the other places I've talked to, it's not that busy because there's just not that much being done. And so, but it's good to hear. I just hope that we get more of that over here. Over here in America, we don't really hear too much about Italian filmmaking over here. Not like we used to. We used to hear that a lot over here, but not so much. And so I think maybe the impression is that there's not that much going on in Italy, but it's good to hear you say that's not true. There is a lot going on. So I mean, that means there's a lot of jobs for a lot of people. So talk to us. Let's talk about your first feature film, because you did your first short film. Oh, let's talk about your short film first. What how did you prepare to make your first short film? I mean, what steps did you take to make the film? Now you were 15 years old, right? When you made your first short film, right?
Yes, 15 years old.
Okay. So how did you I know you mentioned you shot it with your friend. And where did you? Well, better yet, here. How about this? You shot your first film with your friend. Did you get to show it anywhere? Did you show it on camera to anybody? What kind of reaction did you get?
The reaction, the reactions was a good reactions because a lot of them they were not professional actors. So for them, it was not so easy playing a role in a film, in a short film. And when they see when they watched when they watched them in that movies, the reaction was very funny. Some of my friends was very happy because they they were enjoyed by these adventures. If they were they was not if they were not professional actors.
What was it like working with your first? Who were some of the first professional actors that you worked with? The first time, what was it like the first time you worked with professional actors? How old were you, and what was it like?
The first time was in my was when I was 19 years old. It was one of my first feature film. No, sorry, it was one of my first short film. The name of that short film was Abram, and it was a short film about a social short film about bullying and racism. I think it is one of my best and my most important short film, because it is one of the most awarded of my short film. And in that film I worked for the first time with professional actors. They are Italians professional actors. They are young, and there are young actors and old actors. I am very proud about that short film. Because it was my first professional short film, and now is one of my most awarded film. It received several awards in all the world, in a very big city like Tokyo, Hollywood, Rome, Paris. For me, it's a very important film, because it helped me a lot in my career. That film. I learned a lot of techniques and how to direct actors and the crew. Thanks to film Hebron.
I'm looking at the synopsis of Abraham. You made it in 2018, and I'm reading it today.
Yeah.
I'm reading it. It could be today. I'm reading it, and you're right. It won some awards here, and I think it's a 9-minute film, but you learned how to make a really powerful story in 9 minutes. There's been a lot of good directors out there that have, to me, I think that's really cool. I love short films. I love the format. I think it's important, and I think you can tell a whole damn story in 9 minutes. And I can see why you're very proud of that. And it's sort of sad to see that it's the subject matter is still going on today. Let me go back to the chat real quick. Yes, that was a great question by Karma about Hollywood, about Rome being their Hollywood. I could see Rome being the filmmaker for its industry. Yeah, I just didn't know anymore. We hear so little, so you don't know if it's still Rome or if it's Milan. Let's see. Uh, uh, Mika and Kira say two of our favorite Italian actresses have been both Monica Bellucci and Sophia Loren, who just
Yeah.
celebrated her 90th birthday. You know what? I thought Monica Bellucci was born Italian, but she's French.
Yes, she was born in Italy, in Umbria, and when she was young, she played several. She played in several films in Italy. She becomes very famous, and she becomes very famous in all of the world. And from that moment, she started to work in a lot of countries like USA, like Great Britain or France. And she moved from Italy to France because she married a French actor, Vincent Cassel. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question here, because this is actually I've talked about this before, but let me ask you this: if you had to cast Monica Bellucci in a movie, what kind of movie would you cast her in? I mean, what movie would you cast her in? Would you cast her in a drama, a comedy, a thriller, a horror film, a musical? How if you got a chance to use her in one of your films, what film would you cast her in, and why?
I think if I should if I should work with her, I think the in this case the best genres are drama and the thriller, because I understand that she's a very good actress. That she works better in this two genre, thriller and drama. So if
American filmmakers, they can't use her right for anything, Francisco. They cannot cast her right to save her life. She has been in some really terrible movies over here, and she's a great actress. But man, I mean, she's great. She's more great in Italy and in Europe than she is over here. Over here, she's just wasted. No one has ever used her the way she should have been used. I just don't get that. And speaking of casting, and I asked you this for a reason. The reason about casting is what was it like the first time you like I asked you before, what was it like working with professional actors the first time? But what was it like the first time that you had to cast your for your film?
the first time that I have a cast, so you asked me the first time that I was a important cast.
Right.
Yes. The first time that I worked with important cast, it's in my last in my last feature film, The Thief of Falling Stars. In this feature, fortunately, I worked with several international actors and actresses. I worked with an important Japanese actor, Hal Yamanushi, that he played one of the main villain in one of the Wolverine film. He played the role of Silver Samurai in one Marvel film.
Yeah, the Wolverine.
Wolverine, yeah. And another important actor who I worked in this film is an American actor, is Daniel McVicar, that was famous in Italy and I think in America for the CBS series The Bold and Beautiful. And I in this cast there are also Jacopo Rampini, that is an Italian actor, but he lives in New York. He works in an American film industry. And another important actress of my last film is Denise McNee, that is a British actress who played in the Sky series I Medici.
Now, your last film that you did, is that the 31 October?
No. My last film is The Thief of Falling Star, not 31 October. 31 October, there is an error there is a mistake on IMDb, because it will be my next film. I have to shoot this film yet. I think I will shoot this film in spring 2025.
I'm looking at I'm looking at the cast for okay, I'm gonna sure everybody's gonna crack up over this. Ladro di Stelle Cadenti.
Yes, Il Ladro di Stelle Cadenti is my last film. That the English name is The Thief of Falling Stars. And is that films that I was talking before.
I'm looking at your cast right now. It is Daniel McVicar and Denise. Yeah. Oops, hold on here.
Daniel McVicar, Denise McNee, Alia Manucci. There are a lot of important actors and actresses in this film.
What was it like for the first time working with Americans? I mean, and was this your first time working with an American actor and Japanese actor? And I know that you already worked on a British production. Was this the first time you worked? And how do you overcome the language barrier? How do you direct someone who is not Italian? Is the language barrier the hardest thing to overcome? Your English is really good, by the way.
Yes, it's a very funny situation because I've directed this film in a 2 version, like Dracula of Todd Browning in 1931, because I've directed this movie in an English version and in the Italian version. Fortunately, all of these actors was able to speak English and Italian very, very fluent. Daniel McVicar is an American actor, but he can be able to speak English because to speak Italian because he lives in Italy. Alia Manucci is a Japanese actor. He can be able to speak English, Japanese, and Italian because when he was young, he worked in several Italian films. And the same Denise McNee, he can able to speak English and Italian.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I think it just makes your job so much easier. That's now has this movie is good is you're in post production, right? Right now you're still working on everything in post production.
No, the post production has just finished. Now this movie will come in a movie theaters in Italy from 17 October. Yeah, we are almost ready.
So you get the okay. So I've talked to filmmakers in Belgium, Netherlands, the UK, Denmark, Norway. They have never been able to get their movies on a big screen. They can't get them on the big screen. It's like, okay, you made a movie. Did it go on? Did did it play on theaters? They haven't. A lot of times those folks have had to depend on their films being sold and being shown here in America. They don't get that big screen recognition. How cool is that for you to put your movie on a big screen?
Yes, it in a big screen. It will be at first. It will become in all in all movie theater of Italy, and in a second moment it will come in on VOD platform, on VOD platform, streaming platform like Amazon or Netflix.
Okay. Our friend I was talking about earlier, remember you and I were talking about vampires?
Vampires.
Remember earlier we were talking about vampires?
Yes. Yes, I remember.
The guy I told you who was a bat. Well, he's here. Our good friend Al Lecard. Give it up for Al Lecard, aka the Bat. The Bat is here. He's a celebrity all by himself. Let me tell you, Francisco, he's a star. But he has a question for you, and let's talk about this a little bit too, because well, I want to talk about your film first. Says, do you like? I knew that was coming. Says, do you like gialli? If so, what are some of your favorites? I wanted to get to that. I definitely will, but I want to get before I ask you that question. I want to talk more about your film coming out and being played on the big screen. I'm so excited to hear that. I think that's really cool. Now, will this be your first feature film that has gotten on the big screen?
Yes, it's my first feature in the big screen because the other two films, feature films, Boccaccio 2020 and Dalì 2021, were come in a streaming platform. One will come in Amazon Prime Video Italian, and the other one we can see it on an American streaming platform, Prime TV.
Yeah,
is the name.
Prime. Okay.
Prime.
Wow, how cool is that? So I mean, I'm super psyched about that. We got you before we got you right before your big premiere. Now this will be the first time you got a red carpet. Are you nervous? Are you nervous about having your movie? And how do you worry about reviews? Or do film critics bother you? Do they bother you, or do you just let them go by and let them say what they're going to say? Because I know that European film critics are different from American. So are you concerned with how the film is reviewed, or do you feel that's out of your hands?
Yes, I'm a bit I'm a bit worried about film reviews. Because this movie, The Thief of Falling Stars, Il ladro di stelle cadenti, is a non-conformist film, because it's my style. Make experimental, non-conformist, and surrealistic films. It's my film. It's the first. It's the first fantasy and surrealistic Italian film. So it's I'm proud of this fact, but I am also worried about this thing because it's a big, it's a great responsibility. Make a non-conformist and surrealistic film, a fantasy surrealistic film.
Now, yeah, this is everybody's congratulating you about this. Everybody's saying here, congratulations on your first feature film. It says here, this has got to be cool to get it to the cinema. Yes, I agree. And I always hear distributing is the biggest barrier getting the film and getting the film seen on the big screen. Not only are you going to be on the big screen in Italy, but now you're going to be on Amazon Prime. That's really, really good. There's a lot of filmmakers I know that would love to be on Amazon Prime, but have not made it. Let's see. One of our favorite films we enjoyed recently from Italy is There's Still Tomorrow. See, our friend Cheryl is here. It says, congratulations. Me too, again. Me and Al are going like, this movie sounds right up our alley. That's right. It does. Let's see. In fact, I said TMS, so I think that we might have to take a look at that when we see it. Where can we watch your films? Now, yes. So besides the current film, where can we see some other past films of yours? Are they being streamed anywhere that we can watch them?
Yes, they can watch my past films on Prime TV. In Prime TV, you can find my first two feature film, Boccaccio 2020 and Dalì 2021. And you can find some of my short films in Amazon Prime Video American, like my best short film, Abram, and another of my short film called Dirty Love. You can see, you can watch two short films on on Amazon Prime Video American, and you can watch my first two feature films on Prime TV America.
Man, I did not know that Amazon Prime did short films. I was not aware of that. That is very cool that they do, though. The only short film channel that I know of here is here on YouTube. That's called Omeletto. But it's really cool to hear that Amazon Prime is showing short films. That is, and not only short films, but foreign films in general. Of course, you know, that's a matter of perspective, right? Yeah, that's really neat. We're gonna have to go watch. We're gonna have to go and watch some of your earlier works. Now, Al asked a question earlier because, and we talked a little bit about horror films. So Giallo is basically Italian mystery films. That's a lot of people love Giallo. They think of Argento and Bava and is Giallo still a popular art form in a film genre in Italy, or do they still make Giallo films?
Yes, Giallo films in Italy are very popular, but I think that they are more popular in America because I have a lot of American friends, or I know a lot of American directors that really love this genre, Italian giallis, and they really loved directors like Mario Bava or Dario Argento. Personally, I liked this genre, but I think there is others genre most beautiful in Italy. For example, neorealism or comedies.
Are comedy still very popular? I mean, during the 50s and in the 60s, and even so up to the 70s, there was a lot of great Italian comedies that were coming out. Of course, they're based on some really terrific actors and actresses. We mentioned Sophia Loren and Gina Lollobrigida that were very well known for comedy. Is comedy status still very popular as well? Because you're saying that you did a fantasy film. That's an amazing. It's amazing, and it's like the really first Italian. I mean, yeah, actually, I'm just thinking here, and help me out in the chat if you will. But I'm trying to think of any Italian fantasy films that I've watched. I cannot really remember any. And I'm not talking about Hercules either with Lou Ferrigno. That doesn't count ever on any level, by the way. You have not seen that, right?
Sorry, I don't understand.
There was they did an Italian production, did a movie based on Hercules. Hercules is very popular back in the very popular, and it was made in Italy with Lou Ferrigno and Sybil Danny, and yeah, but we don't talk about that. Let's see. Okay, Lena Wertmuller made comedies. Okay.
Yeah, Lina Vermüller. Yes.
Who's if now you mentioned that you also are a screenwriter. So is comedy something that you would try to write? Would you try to? I mean, what genres are you more comfortable in fantasy, horror, comedy, drama? What kind of movies do you like to make?
I like make fantasy, horror, and drama movies. I also love the comedies, but I think for a director or for a screenwriter, it's the most difficult genre to write or to direct. In fact, I have never written or directed a comedy movie because I think it's not so easy, especially about the screenplay, the script, because when you write a comedy story, the main goal is to make happy, to make laughs in the people, and it's very difficult. It's not so easy because I think for writing or directing comedy film, you must be a comedian. Or a comic actor, or a comedian TV show.
It does seem like that, doesn't it? Now that you're saying that, it does seem like you have to. It does seem like you have to be you have to be a comic to understand comedy. It does seem like that, right? Like you have to be experienced in thrillers to be able to do thrillers really well. What makes it so hard for people to what makes a comedy so hard to pick up as a as a screenwriter? I mean, to me, I would think that if you're sitting there writing a screenplay, I mean, you can think of a lot of things that would create laughter. Like a guy gets hit in the face, with a pie. It's always going to be good for a laugh. You think that it would be easy to write comedy because it's because I mean, it's comedy, it's physical, but it is harder than that, right? I mean, it is harder. Now, have you yourself have you made a comedy in any of your films so far? Have any of your films been a comedy?
Comedy in my film in my film.
Yes. Have you ever done a comedy so far?
No, no, I've never.
They're saying comedy is the hardest to pull off. John
Yes,
Carpenter, when Big Trouble flopped. Uh, I'm sure
yes.
Steven Spielberg said the same thing, which is why he's only done one comedy. Steven Spielberg has only done one comedy. He did 1941, and he said never again.
Yes, I think this movie was The Terminal, yeah, the comedy directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, 1941. It had John Belushi and had a great cast. The cast was really great.
Ah,
And it just didn't, and people just didn't like it. They just, I don't know if they thought it was too slapsticky which I don't understand that because that's what comedy is. It's physical. But I just know that, it just didn't, maybe the fact that he wasn't known for making comedies and people didn't want to give him a chance in doing so. His wife told him, don't make comedies. Don't do it. His wife told him that, and he ended up trying to do it. He says, but if you got to make one and get it out of your system. So he made 1941 and it didn't do well. And he said, never again.
never okay.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, and that too. I think it either broke even or lost money. I don't think it made money. 1941. I don't think it made money. And actually, it's one of those films that the older it gets, the more cult, it becomes more of a cult favorite. That doesn't happen in 1941 because no one talks about that movie with any sort of love. I've never heard anybody talk about 1941 as being a comedy gem even after it's been released all these years. Because we always try to romanticize old movies, right? We always look at old movies and then we they've been out for 20 years or so or more, and then we see them and go like, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad, and we romanticize it, how good the movie really, how good of a movie it was. But then when you sit down and you actually rewatch it, you realize all over again no, it really wasn't that good. Uh, uh, let's talk about your screenwriting. Now, what was the first film that you wrote? Your feature film. Now, did you write your feature film debut? Now we know you wrote this one here, the new movie. You wrote that one. Um, what's it like for you to write for your films? Is it hard for you to screenwrite? Did you pick that up in college, or did you just start writing and see where it took you?
No, it's not so hard for me writing a movie. It's more difficult directing a movie because when you write a story, you are alone. You can imagine, you can write without problems, and when you direct a movie, you are in a set, and in a set there are more problems than when you write a story alone, because when you are on the set, you have to respect times. You have to shot several scenes in a definitely time. But when you write a story, time doesn't exist. You are very free. So for me, it's more simple writing a screenplay than direct a movie. And it's I really love write a story, write a script, or write a book. And when I write a film, I feel very, very good.
So you like screenwriting a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that's critical, and the fact of it, did it feel like did you feel like you had to learn how to screenwrite, or did it feel like it just came naturally to you, like when you sat down there and all of a sudden you just started writing, and you could see in your mind's eye where you wanted to go with the story? Was it easy for you, or was it a struggle at first when you first started out, when you first did your first screenplay? Was it really difficult for the first time that you did it, or was it natural?
No, at the first time it's a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult because you have to come in the right mood. So it's not so easy.
We're talking about comedies right here, about how comedies are hard to get out there, and over here, Tim mentioned comedy actors get no respect despite putting tons of people in theater seats. And then Tom says some audiences are hard to please. I think comedy right now is probably the hardest thing to do because of the limitations. You are being handcuffed if you're trying to write a comedy play. I mean, now the only comedy that you're allowed to do is romantic comedy. You can't do physical comedy. God help you if you try to do political comedy. You just aren't allowed to do it anymore. Not here anyway. Um, what are some of your who are some of your favorites? Who are some of your favorites? The people that inspire you. Who are some of the directors and actors and what have you that you would like to work with? If you could follow one director, or no, let's make it three. It's more interesting. If you could follow three different directors, just follow them around and seeing how they do their films. What three directors would you like to see? Would you like to work with?
The directors, right?
Yeah, three directors.
Yes, my favorite three different directors that they inspire me a lot in my style, in my movies, are Tim Burton, Pedro Almodovar, and Stanley Kubrick. They are three.
Do you like The Shining?
Shining, yes, it's my third prefer film. Shining, I think is the most wonderful horror movie all of the times, and I really loved the performance of Jack Nicholson and the performance of Shirley Duvall. I think it's a very capolavoro because in this film are perfect all the aspects. There is a wonderful direction. There is a wonderful screenplay. There is a wonderful direction of photography. A wonderful set design. And a wonderful performance of two great actors like Jack Nicholson and Shirley Duvall.
That got you a lot of chatter here in the chat. Let me catch up with it. Of course, no one's okay. Let's see. Imagine comedy is quite difficult. Yes. Let's see. In Airport 1980 cost 10 times. 10 times. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much Airplane was made for. I know the budget for the cast was huge. The timing has to be right. Actors have to be believable, and the script has to flow without being over the top. I agree with you there, Karma. Tim mentions comedy actor. I said that one. Let's see. Some audiences are hard to please, especially when it comes down to comedy. Let's see. Writers, directors are the best. Yep, I agree with that too. Yep. Great selections. I'm dead because it's an open secret about how I like The Shining. Let's see. Stanley Kubrick is one of our favorites. The Shining is one of our favorite films. You guys are killing me. Okay. Except for Shyamalan. Yeah. Carmen says, we are a soft society that is politically correct. Heaven forbid we have a different opinion. There was a day when we had a tough skin or weren't easily offended. I agree. Tom Baker picked 3 directors out. He picked Stanley Kubrick. He's with you, Francisco. He also picked John Carpenter. He picked John Carpenter as one of his 3, and he picked Don Siegel. That's a name you don't hear mentioned a lot. Which is a damn shame because Don Siegel was a very, very good director, and he did a lot of Clint Eastwood movies. What about Sergio Leone? Is he still revered in Italy as being a famous director? Is he still talked about in when you talk film? Is Sergio Leone still talked about with reference?
Reference Italian director.
Right. I'm sorry, my phone is it's I don't know what's it just went it almost went blank.
No problem. Sorry.
Is Sergio Leone still a popular name in Italian cinema?
Popular in Italian cinema. Sorry, because I don't understand the question with because
is he still popular? I mean, when you talk about some of the people that have made Italian films, like Bud Spencer.
Yeah.
Are they is Sergio Leone is he still considered a popular director? I mean, like Argento or Fulci or Bava. I mean, those are the main directors that I know. Are they still popular today? Like over here, we talk about, like we mentioned about Stanley Kubrick, and people are talking about directors of the past. John Carpenter, Don Siegel, and Stanley Kubrick. People still love those directors today. Even though their best work were behind them or years ago. Is that like that in Italy? Does Italy respect its does it respect its history? Do you feel today's audience in Italy, do they still respect the old days with Sofia and Gina and all the great Italian actors?
Yes, sure. In Italy, there is a great respect with these for these directors like Bud Spencer, Mario Bava, Argento, and there is a great respect for this great American directors like Kubrick, John Carpenter, or Don Siegel. Yeah. But Italian people loves every type of film genre and every type of nationality film, American, British, French. Yeah.
I'm going to turn it over real quick. I'm going to let everybody have a last shot. If you have any questions for Francisco, please go ahead and drop it in the chat right now. And if you have any last questions, so we can go ahead and let them have a chance to answer them. This has been a lot of fun. Have you had fun today?
Yes, very fun. Thank you for this wonderful live. It has been an honor for me. Yeah.
It's an honor for us, and I'm so grateful that you came over and hung out with us. This has been a lot of fun. I was like, yeah, I just can't wait to talk to you. I can't wait to talk to you. And I'm seeing a lot of new faces in my chat, so that's really cool as well. Roberto Benigni is still around. Is he still making films? Okay.
Yes, Roberto Benigni is still making films, but some years ago he worked more than this moment. He's famous for a lot of films like the Life is Beauty that wins Academy Award for Best Actor and maybe for Best Original Score, I think. Yeah,
that was a powerful movie, and he definitely caught lightning in a bottle there. I did not know he was still making film. Is he still very popular in Italy? Is he when one of his movies comes out, do people go out and watch it?
Yes, it's very popular in Italy. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's good to see. I mean, I appreciate the fact you guys have such a rich history. And it's awesome to see that you guys are really busy making films and still vibrant and still vital. And that's important. Like I said, it's important. But I do want to thank you for coming out. Our time has hit the wall. I want to thank you for coming out and hanging out with us today, Francisco. I had absolutely joy. It was absolutely a joy talking with you. And
thank you.
I'm so thankful for the chat for coming out today. And yes, Fellini is an idol, of course.
Fellini.
Of course. Yeah. See, some directors should be forced to make a movie with a smaller budget. Maybe they will get back their edge. I agree. I am so with you on that, Tom. I think a lot of directors and a lot of studios, they need to have, here's a $5 million, make me a good movie. Because you can for $5 million. You don't need to make it for $100 million. You can, I think when filmmakers have too much access, they're not really making a film anymore because they don't have to struggle to make it. Everything they have is right at their fingertips. Oh, we need an extra, we need an extra $5 million for a stunt. No problem. Just put it on the budget. I think that smaller budgets make you work harder. Face to Ace. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Well, hi to you, Ace. Glad you're here. Doing well. We're just finishing up our conversation with Italian filmmaker Francisco Saia. And did I say that right? Is it Saia?
No, my surname, the right pronunciation is Saia, but Italian people are not able to pronounce my surname because my surname is Saia. But I don't know why Italian people pronounce this surname Saia. But it's a wrong pronunciation pronounce because the right pronounce is Saia.
Saia. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
right,
Saia.
right. Very good. Very
All right.
good.
All right. Got one
Yes.
thing right today.
Yes.
All right. We will not be having a show tonight. Most of the time, whenever we do a European show, we always come back and do a show at nighttime. But we were not doing that today. We are only doing the one interview today, and that was with Francisco. But we will be back tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow, and let me tell you about that because I know you guys want to know. So tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we will be having an amazing entrepreneur, inventor. Robert Noodle will be here. Nuddle will be here. He has created a tool called the Restore. And the story behind this tool is one to be seen and heard. And we'll be talking with Robert tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And I think he has a fascinating story to tell, and I'm glad he's going to come over and share it with us. And then on Thursday, the 26th, we have singer Nikki Biwati will be here with us, and that will be our 500th show. Episode 500 will be Thursday, and it will be with Nikki Biwati. I cannot wait. She is a beautiful singer from New York City, and it's going to be fascinating to talk to her. And there will be music to be had on Thursday, and both those shows are at 8 o'clock Eastern time and 5 o'clock Pacific. All right, that is it for us. Thank you so much for coming by. Hit the like button, drop a comment, keep the engagement going. I really appreciate it. Francisco, stay right where you're at for a minute. But to everybody else in the chat, I'm going to say thank you so much for coming in and making this happen for us. And we will be seeing you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Thank you again. Have a great afternoon. Peace.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, hold on one second here.